love to have a look at TRVL. So it's interesting because yesterday I was analyzing. I didn't make a video, but I did do it live. I was analyzing TRVL, and then Altcoin Dreaming sent me. I wanted to look at the BTC chart, and normally I just look at the KuCoin BTC chart. It's very difficult to look at KuCoin BTC because sometimes it depends on liquidity. So here you can see an altcoin TRVL BTC on KuCoin. It looked like we put in a higher high and we had a change in market structure there, weekly time frame to bullish. But Altcoin Dreaming showed me how you could add BTC without having an actual chart. And if anyone uses TradingView, this is how you do it. I've removed the KuCoin chart just simply because I want the launch data from the original launch candle. And so basically this is how you do it. So we've got this algorithm, Bybit TRVL, Gates TRVL, MEXC TRVL divided by 3. That's the 3 charts combined. And then here divided by Binance BTC times the number of sats. So in this case you've got how many sats have you got? You've got 100 million sats. So you do that, and effectively you get this brand new brand new chart, and it gives you the value of 1 TRVL in sats. Amazing, huh? Didn't know that, huh? I really didn't know that, and this is quite interesting to see. So this is now TRVL versus Bitcoin. Now you can do a volume pool, and it gives you the volume based on where TRVL was with respect to BTC, and it compares the value based on sats. So it's actually quite a nice chart. It's a combined TRVL chart compared to the BTC chart on Binance. Okay, so it's quite a nice chart actually. And so when you're looking at it like this, and we've got all of the data going back to the beginning of the launch, because I haven't included the KuCoin data. If you include the KuCoin data, you divide it by 4, but you only get it from when KuCoin launched, and so you're missing the first part of the chart. And yeah, so it's quite interesting. I'm quite interested in chart. What you can see is, now I don't know how relevant the value area is yet. It's quite hard to know because this is just calculated volume based on where TRVL put in volume, and it's it's not an indication of actual trading between TRVL and BTC. It's just showing you that at this price TRVL volume came into TRVL, and that gives you the ratio of the value with respect to Bitcoin at that period, at that time. So here you can see that actually we're in the value area. So it's very different to the KuCoin. It's very different to the KuCoin chart, isn't it? It's very different. Hold on a second. This chart looks very different to the TRVL BTC on KuCoin, because on KuCoin you can see that we're actually not in the value area. Getting a little bit of rejection here from the value area low there, whereas on this chart, which is the combination, we are in the value area. What's more, we're still getting a rejection. So there's an SR flip in play. You can see that, which corresponds with this SR flip here. There's a little bit of an SR flip here. But what you can see on KuCoin is that we had a higher buy here, which would have been a weekly change in market structure confirmed to the bullish. You see that higher high? We've never had that before. But actually, when you look at this chart, which is the combination of all the charts minus the KuCoin chart compared to BTC calculated in sats and satoshis, you can actually see that we didn't put in a higher high. So I prefer this actually. I think this is more realistic. This would still be our low, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That's your higher high. So we still have a range here to put in our higher high. I don't think we've changed it just yet. We haven't confirmed the change yet. And I think the minute you do confirm a change, things become extremely bullish. But you can see that according to this, we are actually in the value area. Most of the volume has come in across this multi-year range when BTC was 1 TRVL was roughly about 37 satoshis, and you can see now that from the point of control to the current price, we're about 56% above the point of control. Okay, so I think this is quite an interesting chart. So if you guys wanted to just replicate it, it's not a bad idea. It gave me a lot of insight. I didn't know about this. Thank you, Altcoin Dreaming. This is the formula, so you can see it, you can copy it basically. Now what I've also done is I've done the same thing for ETH. And so we used to have an ETH chart. For some reason it was the ETH volume on Uniswap, and for some reason it disappeared, like it doesn't exist anymore. So actually I just use Altcoin Dream also helped me with this one. I've created a chart, same thing. I've got rid of the KuCoin volume just because of the data. I wanted all the data. I wanted it right from the candle launch, and also it's still okay. It's still enough volume to give you the accurate enough information. Divided by 3, divided by Binance colon ETH USDT. Now this is the difference. You have to times it by 1 billion. So 1 and 9 zeros. That will give you the value of 1 TRVL in Gwei. So at the moment 1 TRVL is trading at 14,696 Gwei, which is the subset of the ETH. And again, the volume area, you see that the most of the volume was put down here where ETH was 1 TRVL was about 8,825. So it looks like we're in the volume area, but the value area. And again, it's very similar to Bitcoin in this sense, I think. You can see here we changed, we put in a lower low, lower high, lower low. We had a nice explosive week. That's your higher high, and we haven't confirmed a change in market structure just yet on ETH. But they're very similar, except against ETH, it looks like we're a little bit more bullish because we don't have this SR flip to contend with, do we? That SR flip, the same SR flip that we are seeing on BTC, we don't have that to contend with. We're still getting a pullback, but it looks like against ETH we're much more bullish. And when it comes to the fibs, I'm just doing it based on the chart now. I'm just ignoring everything else. I think it's okay on both the BTC chart and also the ETH chart, because this data, it's hard to know. I mean, which candles this candle is going to be an average of the 3 charts on launch day, isn't it? It's going to be an average of the MEXC launch day and the Bybit launch day and the Gate.io launch. So it's not going to be the exact all-time high. And there's no way to know. I mean, maybe there is. I don't know if there is a way to know, to calculate it. Let me have a look. You'd have to look at the MEXC data. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to just get rid of those 3 and combine them against the MEXC. So I'd have to do this and see where it lands. Get rid of that divided by 3. This is ETH, isn't it? Because the MEXC was correct to the all-time. It says, look, it says, maybe I can actually do this. Maybe it's possible. Maybe that's the all-time. I'll try it out. So so according to, yeah, so the reason why I did that is because on MEXC, you see the all-time high, it went to 1.6. Yeah. And because in that chart I just got rid of the 2 just to get that value, and it came to there. So I'll have a look at both. It's quite interesting to look at different things. Initially I'm just taking it from the top to the bottom here. I don't mind it so much. I don't mind it so much from the top to the bottom, just simply because the 382 corresponds with this value area high, and then the 50% mark corresponds with some kind of major SR flip, you can see. But other than that, it's very hard to know. And then this 236, well, there is some kind of SR flip going. It's a bit messy, but there is some kind of SR flip going on. But now that I've just used that MEX, this is like from the all-time high. Let me just pull it down a little bit to there. That's the all-time high. See, this can work too. This works too, and maybe this works better actually. Just looking at it. Oops, let me just update it so it's kind of as precise as possible. Maybe this is better. Yeah. I wanted to make that one. Why is this better? Maybe. Well, you had a nice reaction there. The golden pocket kind of reacted there and there. There was a little bit of support at the 50% level. It got a bit messy here, but you can see there's a bit of resistance. That was a fake out. And then here you can see the 382. Good, nice reaction there. Reaction there. It's subjective. It's a little bit subjective, isn't it? Especially when it comes to this lower one, which is the 236. Remember, this is against ETH. You can see there's some kind of reaction there, some kind of SR flip going on here and then here. It's a bit messy, yeah? It's a bit messy at these fibs. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not. Maybe this one is better. It's hard to know. Huh? So you're basically comparing from the all-time high, which I've discovered from the MEXC chart, and the actual combined chart. The combined prices. Let me have a look at that one again. That's the difference. Yeah, I think I prefer the correct one, which is this one. So let me do the same thing on the BTC chart. So what I want to do here is just keep the MEXC data just to get the top. Get rid of that. Get that figure, whatever that is in sats. So that's the all-time high. Then go back to the original chart with the combined data. Put in my line, and then add the coordinates back in to give me the all-time high, and then enable it. A little bit of hacking, huh? A little bit of hacking. Let's see what this looks like now. Data is so important, you know, when it comes to analysis. You have to have the right data, and then you have to check it to make sure it's on point. Oh, it's nice. Look, golden pocket, really nice tap, really nice resistance, little back flip there. Look, back test. It kind of flipped it, didn't it? So you can see the ratios are in play there. The 50 fib, yeah, a little bit resistance there. It's kind of playing around it until it, not so much, not as good, but it's there. The 382, well, you've got support there. It falls through, comes back up, tries to find support, doesn't make it. Resistance and kind of a front run resistance there. 236, again, it's a little bit kind of in and around. Potentially support, potentially resistance, 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 fake out, resistance, support, and then whatever. So I'm going to just use this chart when I'm looking at BTC just to get clues. And I think what we want to see on this chart is a change in market structure on the higher time frame. So we've seen a change in market structure on so actually the other thing I wanted to do is just I'm going to mark out the volume levels. So this is BTC, the other one's ETH. I'm looking at both of them now, and I'm going to be looking at these a little bit more regularly, and at the same time I'll be looking at obviously the USD, just to kind of track where we are at. I'm not sure if these value areas are pertinent, just simply because it's not corresponding with actual value transferred between TRVL and BTC or ETH. It's just giving you the idea of the volume coming in corresponding with where TRVL is with respect to where BTC or ETH is in terms of value, but it's not telling you this is the volume that was transacted at that level between the two. So we're not, this is like a combined chart that I've created, but it's not an actual pair that's trading. Okay, so it's just important to clarify that. But it's interesting to see. Here's the point of control. Let me just put this, create a group. Value area, volume levels. Okay, so that I can get rid of. So actually, I just want to kind of mark out this high volume node as well. You can see there's a couple of high volume nodes here. Not really. There, a little bit of a high volume node there. No, it's not high enough, so I'm just going to ignore it. Get rid of this now. Got your full fib. All right, so the main thing I'll be looking for is structure. Structure is really important. And we're in confirmed bullish a daily market structure, as you can see. This is on BTC. There's your higher high, there's your higher low. As far as I can tell, this is the range. And as long as we don't change market structure, then we're in bullish market structure, as far as I can tell. Okay, as far as I'm concerned. And for me, with BTC, it's important that we remain in bullish market structure. The minute you lose that, just like we did here, and we lost it here, the minute you lose it, you put in a lower low, lower high, take out the low, and the price, look at the price, it drops. They dropped another 50%, yeah, just by a change, confirmed change. I mean, it's a bit late, but at least it gives you an indication that actually up to that point, it was very possible that the price just continued up, put in a higher low, and you're looking, and it's all about bullishness, isn't it? Demand and supply. So we're just going to keep a track of that. And then actually what's really important is the ability to change weekly market structure. Again, we haven't done it. We've never done it. We've put in higher highs, but we've never been able to confirm a change. Here we've put in a higher high. Each higher high that we've been able to put in, we've gone all the way down and we've put in a lower low. You see, we've gone all the way down and we've put in a lower low each single time. Okay, even here, yeah. So this is the first time that we've put in a higher high in a while, since January 24, so a good part of 10 months ago. And that's simply because of the structure here, low low, higher high. sorry, lower low, lower high, lower low. That's a higher high. If we can change the structure here, if we can whatever and go up, and so it'll be the first time this token is actually in a bullish market structure on the weekly time frame, and we can look at the other types of time frame too as well. So obviously the next one we'll be looking at will be the monthly time frame, and I don't think there's enough data, to be honest with you, to look at these higher time frames. So when you look at the 3-month time frame, what are you looking at? You're just looking at, I don't know, what are you looking at? This is, remember, this is against BTC. Potentially you're looking at something like that, isn't it? Some kind of falling wedge on a higher time frame, aren't we? Quite a lot of volume in the last 3 months. You see that this red candle here with the wick underneath. It's quite a lot. It's like the most volume we've experienced since that inverse green hammer up there, that Morningstar doji. That's kind of what you're looking at. And actually what I'd like to see is for this to go up to the all-time high. That would be a 4,800% increase in value against Bitcoin. That's the target. That's everyone's target here. That's if anyone is thinking, what's my target? What's our target? That's our target. And if anyone's looking at a higher time frame kind of trade, that's the trade. To take it all the way from an all-time low situation all the way up to the all-time high. That's really the trades that I'm interested in. And so naturally scaling into the lows is the right strategy, and then scaling out the highs is the right strategy. I'm not looking to take this beyond the all-time high into price discovery. I'm not. Yeah, if it happens, it happens. And so obviously it's always good to have some not to be 100% out, but realistically speaking, in my imagination, I'll be looking for a range. As always, I'm looking for a range. I'm not looking for anything more than that. You're trying to scale into the low of the range, which is somewhere here, and you're trying to scale out of the top of the range, which is somewhere there. And then that's basically what you're looking for in a higher time frame. Eventually what you get is higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and a breakout. That's eventually what happens over a period of time. Now we're talking years, but it doesn't have to be years. It can be months. It could be 3 months. Yeah, and if I get the fibs back in, based on, and this is against Bitcoin, according to this, the midpoint of the range is here, is that 50% mark. You can see it's actually acting as resistance after we lost it. It acting as resistance there. So initially what you want to do is get back into the top part of the range and then take it right back up to the top of the range. And you know, that's kind of what you're thinking. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I'm not thinking anything other than range bound behavior. It's just that ever since this token launch, we've been in a downtrend trying to form the range from top to bottom, and then it's my idea of this bull market is to take it right back up to the top. And on Bitcoin it will look like this. On USD it might look very different, because on USD it may pump higher. Yeah, so when you're looking at the USD chart, you may get higher numbers, because it depends on Bitcoin as well. It depends on how high Bitcoin goes. And so when it comes to comparing it against Bitcoin, I'm not really looking for a breakout against Bitcoin. I'm just looking for range bound behavior, and hopefully we can take it right back up, hopefully. Yeah, I don't see why not. Take it right back up to the top. And I think against ETH we're a little bit more bullish, and so I wanted to have a look at ETH, which I'm looking at it now. You can, and so it's interesting because against ETH, actually let me just put these volume levels in on ETH as well. So as you can see, I haven't done this. I was just kind of it was amazing. It was a new discovery yesterday, and so now I'm quite excited. So I'm just doing it on my stream. If people are interested to kind of join me in this endeavor. Value area high. value area low, control. Again, it's right in the lows, isn't it? So that's kind of, and it's something that Name was telling me yesterday. I think it was Name. I think you were here yesterday. Were you here yesterday? Yeah, Name. I think you were. Was the moving averages. So I can have a look at those too. So actually, look, we put a lot of volume in the lows here, and we're above this kind of high volume node. And up here, you can see there's no volume. So I think we're going to go up very quickly when we do eventually go up very quickly. I really do think that. So let me just put this in to its own group, volume area, volume levels. Again, I'm thinking range. I'm not thinking otherwise, but I can clearly, you can clearly see that it's a little bit more bullish against the ETH. Because we're back above these lows here. See that? Still, we're trying to change market structure on the weekly. We're in bullish daily market structure against ETH. It's exactly the same thing. It helps putting in lower lows because you can change. Because when you put in a lower low, this is a daily time frame. When you put in a lower low, you put in a lower high, lower low, and then higher high. There's your higher high. There's your higher low. There's your higher high. That's your higher low. Okay, so as long as we don't take out that low, we're comfortably in bullish market structure. And again, looking at the weekly time frame, pretty much the same thing, except that we haven't confirmed a change yet. So that's really important. Lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high. You see that? So we just need to put in a higher low. There's a red candle somewhere. And then let's go up. And that would be our change. Okay, so at the moment, if we come all the way down here and go up, that's fine. But if you put a red candle in and go up, then you've got your higher low, haven't you? And then we've changed market structure. That's never happened on this token. I think right now we're seeing quite nice daily time frame bullish price action, and then on the weekly time frame we're trying to change. And obviously I've updated the value area, and you can see a big resistance is going to be the 236 on this ETH scale. That will actually correspond with the launch price here against ETH. You see that? That's the 236, and that's also the value area high. So our next big resistance against ETH is there. We're going to have to contend with that. We're going to have to flip that into support, and we have to go level to level. Eventually what we have to do is we have to flip every single level into support. And at the moment, what I can see is we will have to flip this value area into support. If you can get up, flip it into support, then we could actually head all the way up to the golden pocket. It is possible. And the same thing applies in my imagination. I mean, it's possible against ETH to break out. It's a little bit more doable than against BTC, but you're still contending with a downtrend. Yeah. And we're just trying to turn the downtrend. So this is where I get my moving averages. And I'm going to go on the weekly time frame. I'm using Ben Cohen's settings. So the EMA, I think it's 20. SMA is 21 on the weekly time frame. And you can see that against ETH, we've broken out and we've back tested it a little bit, and we're bullish. So this is his theory, isn't it? The bull market support band, and that's kind of what we want to experience. If you look at the price action against ETH, you can clearly see it resisted the band. It couldn't hold it, resisted it, tried to hold it here. It was quite bullish for a while, couldn't get a breakout, lost it, and we're back above now. So it's quite an interesting development to see that on the weekly time frame, that actually TRVL is actually looking quite nice. It's looking quite nice, and we need the trend to now start to pick up a bit of momentum. When I look at the same thing on the BTC, kind of similar, huh? Very similar story. Very similar story. Resistance, fake out, another big fake out. Resistance, and then we're in support for a while, lost it, and we're back above now. So it's quite interesting to look at these things and see where we are. You kind of want to start buying when we're back above these MAs, these big MAs, because we don't want to be fighting a downward trend. We want to be buying with the trend, and this potentially is the beginning of a trend change against both ETH and against BTC. I said before against ETH, let me just kind of, for the sake of confirmation, all the way up to the all-time high, we're looking at 4,500% increase against BTC, if we can get there. And against ETH, we're looking at from the current price a 2,300% increase in value against ETH, back to the all-time high of this kind of pair. That's why I think against ETH it's possible. Like if we were to go up so much against Bitcoin, I think against ETH it's possible that we actually go into some kind of price discovery, because this is only 2,300% increase against ETH. We have to see how this plays out, right? But again, it's just, if you look at the higher time frame, then what does it look like? It just looks like we're, isn't it? Just looks like that. It looks like a falling wedge, some kind of falling wedge. So we'd be falling, and potentially we could break out, and that's what we all want to see. We want to see a nice breakout, take us right back up to all-time highs, and that's the trade effective. That's, in my mind, that's the trade against ETH and against BTC, and then you'll be comparing that against the USD chart to make sure that there's a little bit of confluence between the targets. And so again, against Bitcoin, a little bit more steeper, but it's basically the same thing, isn't it? Not as bullish against Bitcoin as it is against ETH, but you kind of want these two to say the same thing. We want to have a little bit of confluence between these. Initially, I think my target would be the golden pocket. That would be my target. If we get a nice kind of bullish run, I think I'll be aiming for the golden pocket on both charts first. That would make sense, wouldn't it? And then you have to see what happens next. And then the other thing that I was looking at was the yearly time frame. Let's just have a look at the yearly time frame. Yeah, so it's slightly different to the USD chart, because you can see on the yearly time frame, you've got this yearly level. It's already been hit, so you know that the next time we go up, we could actually overshoot. And look at this yearly candle on TRVL against ETH. It's looking like a reversal doji, like a doji, but look at it. It's like, look at this. It's a high volume doji. It's a yearly candle. It's a high volume doji, and taking out the lows of the previous candle, high volume. If it closes green, that's going to be really bullish, isn't it? If it closes green, because you're also creating a yearly level as well. And we don't know where this is going to, how this is going to end. But let's just say we close here, and it's like a nice green doji closes there. Be really bullish candle to have at the bottom of this price action with increase, with a high volume. How much volume is there? 1.474 billion TRVL. So you've got good enough volume to respect that candle. And if I have a look against the BTC chart, again, looking at slightly different, yeah, slightly different. So against ETH, it's obviously more bullish, but let's just see what happens at the end of the year. Could this also end green? Could this also be a green doji at the lows with a really high volume? Again, 1.374 billion. You have to see how that plays out. That'll be nicer. Then the next one will be a nice green candle reversal, take us all the way up. Same thing as before. This yearly level, that's a touch. So potentially you could overshoot. And that's kind of what I'm imagining. I'm imagining that we overshoot and we hit all-time highs. That's kind of what's in my mind. So let's see what happens. I'm really bullish on this. I'm looking at these charts, makes me even more bullish, and especially the moving averages. This is a bog standard. This is without the KuCoin, with the KuCoin data. Let me get rid of the KuCoin data. Slightly different, high volume here, so that's really good. But again, you know, you've got that big yearly level here at about 28 cents, which hasn't been hit. I don't know, maybe we go up. I mean, if we're going to go up, we have to go up, huh? Has to really pump. All right, so yeah, I'm really bullish on TRVL, as you can see. Other than that, keep on sharing, liking posts, commenting, getting in Telegram. The Telegram, so get in there and start chatting. Look, Kevin has posted something, reposted something that James has written. Did you miss our X Spaces with Fetch AI? You can catch the recording there. And then Kevin posts that you skipped 6.2 minutes and you can get it. There's only 2 likes here. Everyone's got to get in there and like this shit. So I think the activity's dropped a little bit. I don't know why. If anyone's watching this video, you know, now is the time. This is the moment we've all been dreaming about. Let's share and like everything. Let's have a look at the latest. Oh, that's not bad, but it was a Fetch announcement. It should have got more, huh? It only got 7,500 views. We should have shared this to the hilt. This should be like on 1,000 or more. I think people are a little bit quiet. Why? This got more likes. Yeah, let's share and like all this stuff, and let's just get the word out and let's do this. All right, that's TRVL. If there's no more, if those are questions, only name and there's a few others here, but they're not saying anything. What I wanted to look at